Hi. I could have sat down and recorded the digital summary for this article myself, but in the spirit of staying ahead of the digital curve, I wanted to show you what's possible with some of the latest AI tools. So, in my related blog, I've used Nano Banana and Gemini to help create images, icons, and social posts. But I've also used Notebook LM to formalize and ingest my research, and then I use that to generate a deep dive, this video that you've seen. I have to say that it's done a pretty good job of capturing the nuances of my Australian domain space blog. And I gave it some specific brief to lean into the Australiana theme, which, as you'll see, it took quite literally. It's a bit of fun, but the insights are 100% solid, and they've stayed the same for many years as a best practice in the industry. So if you're wondering how AI can help leverage your own content creation, or do business automation, or just if you want to do a quick 5-minute reality check around your domain security, then watch this video and feel free to hit me up if you need any guidance or support.
All right, let's get right into it. When you're an Australian business, your domain name, it's not just some address on the internet. Think of it as the concrete foundation for your entire digital world. It's literally the plot of land where you're going to build everything. But what if that very first step you took was on shaky ground? Well, today, we're going to unpack 5 surprising truths about domain names that you really can't afford to get wrong. So I want you to really think about this for a second. Is your digital foundation solid? Because, getting this one seemingly small decision wrong can cause some pretty serious crack to show up down the line. Trust me, I've seen it happen way more times than I can count. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through 5 truths that are absolutely crucial. We'll talk about why your domain is more like a license than a purchase, the one email that's basically a master key to everything, the power of that little .cu secret handshake, why you're probably doing it all in the wrong order, and how all of this ties directly into your professional credibility. Okay, truth number 1, and listen up because this is a big one. So many business owners think that when they register a domain name, they own it, like it's theirs forever, but that's just not how it works, and it's a really critical misunderstanding. Here's a better way to think about it. Your domain name? That's like leasing a plot of land. Yeah, you get to use it, you can build on it, but you don't actually own it. The only way you get that official title deed, the thing that gives you exclusive legal rights and makes your brand a truly defensible asset, is by registering a trademark. Without that, you're building your entire business on rented land. So what's a smart move you can make right now? Well, we call it a flash iteration. Think of it as your MVP, your minimum viable product for brand protection. It's simple. As soon as you get your ABN, you immediately go out and register the .com.au, the .au, and the .com versions of your name. This puts up a kind of digital fence around your brand, stopping anyone else from squatting on your name while you're busy getting things off the ground. Now, let's move on to our second truth. This one's about a tiny little detail that has absolutely massive consequences: the email address you use when you register your domain. So, who's holding that key? I see this happen all the time. A new business owner will let their web developer or some other third party register the domain, and they do it using their own email address. That's like handing over the master key to your house and just, hoping they'll give it back when you need it. It's a huge risk. So here is the main takeaway. Your registrant contact email, that is your master key. All the renewal notices, all the security alerts, every transfer request, it all goes to that one address. When you make sure that email is one you personally control, you're guaranteeing that your digital work is being delegated, not abdicated. You never, ever want to find yourself locked out of your own business. Okay, on to truth number 3. That little .au at the end of your address, it's not just a couple of the letters. For Aussie consumers, it's a huge signal. It's like a secret handshake that says, hey, I'm a real, legitimate local business you can trust. And the numbers on this are just staggering. Research from ADA, the folks who manage Australian domains, makes it crystal clear. Get this. 3 out of 4 Australian consumers are more likely to trust a business with a .au website. And even crazier, half of all consumers will only buy from a business if they have a .au site. That is a massive part of the market you could be missing out on. And that trust, it's built on a solid regulated system. Unlike some international domains that can feel like the wild, wild west, the .au space is basically a safe harbor. And that's because there are strict rules about who's eligible to get one, which creates a more ethical, open, and fair internet for all of us. Now for truth number 4. Look, I get it. When you're starting a new venture, you're excited, you want to rush out and grab that perfect domain name first thing. But that is one of the most common and potentially costly mistakes you can make. No, seriously, stop and think for a second. Are you trying to pour the concrete for the foundation before you've even surveyed the land or gotten a building permit? Because that's pretty much what you're doing if you register your domain too early in the process. So what is the right order? Well, it starts with the boring but essential stuff. First, you decide on your business structure. Are you a sole trader, a company? Second, you get your ABN or your ACN. This is your non-negotiable proof of eligibility for most .au domains. And only then, once you have those official credentials, should you go and register your domains. And here's why this is so incredibly important. If you register a .au domain without actually meeting the official rules for eligibility, it can be challenged. And if it's challenged, it can be taken away from you. Just like that. All the hard work you put into building your brand on that address, poof, it could all disappear overnight. And finally, truth number 5. Let's put aside all the technical and legal stuff for a moment. Your domain name is one of the fastest, most powerful ways to establish your professional credibility. I mean, just look at the difference here. Which of these businesses inspires more confidence? The one using a generic Gmail address or the one with a custom email like hello@yourbusiness.au? It's a no-brainer, right? It instantly tells your customers that you're a serious, established organization, not just a hobby run out of a spare bedroom. Your domain name is the bedrock. It's step 1. It's the absolute starting point for your entire digital strategy. From there, you build out your digital workspace, then your website, you make sure you're legally compliant, and then you kickstart your SEO. You just can't build the rest of the house if you don't have that foundation in place first. So, at the end of the day, your domain does 2 incredibly important jobs. It's the foundation for your public-facing storefront, that's your website, and it's the foundation for your internal engine room, your professional email and digital workspace, which reinforces your brand's credibility with every single email you send. And that brings us right back to where we started. Registering a domain isn't just a quick task to check off a list. It's a critical business decision that demands real strategic thought. It's all about making sure your most important digital asset is registered correctly to the right person with the right credentials. So ask yourself one last time, is your digital foundation really, truly built to last?